Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessa Marie, and today we're going to go over 3 basic to beginner exercises that you can do at home without a pole. All you need is a yoga mat and a resistance band. So, by the way, I purchased both of these myself. This video is not sponsored or paid for, okay? So, let's get started. But before we do, I have to warn you, all 3 of my cats are watching us right now. So you might see some furry friends run across the screen or some noises in the background. Don't worry about that, it's just my fur children. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, the first exercise we're going to do is for your core. So you're going to have your knees in this V position. You're going to scoot your booty a little bit forward. You're going to lay down on your back. So in this position right here, you can see that there is a space underneath the small of my back. I can use this to demonstrate. The first step for this exercise is to get rid of that space, so you're going to tuck your hips under, bringing your belly button to your spine and tightening your core. So that space is not there anymore. This is going to protect your spine and help strengthen your core. Now, when you're in that position, you're going to have your hands by your side, and you're going to lift your booty up and your hips up into a bridge position, like this. 2 to 3 second hold, and bring it back down, 1 vertebrae at a time. You'll notice that my feet are together. That will make it slightly more challenging because you won't have as much balance. So if you're first getting started, you might want to have your feet about hip distance apart. That way you're a little bit more stable when you lift your hips off the ground. So let's do that again. Belly button to spine. Tightening up your core, don't forget that part. Lift your hips up to the ceiling. 2 to 3 second hold, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, down 1 vertebrae at a time, and relax. You're going to want to do that 10 to 15 reps and 3 sets of those exercises. So make sure you can take a break in between, deep breathing, stretching, like this. You can do that in between them if your core is getting tight. So the next exercise we're going to do is a variation of this one that also involves your booty. So it's kind of like the level 2 version of this basic beginner core strengthening exercise, because you're going to be using multiple muscle groups. So everything's the same. Legs are bent in a V. Hands by your side. You're going to get rid of that space in the small of your back, rolling your hips, tucking them under, belly button to spine, engaging your core. Remember, engaging your core means tighten it like someone's going to punch you in the gut, okay? Lift your hips up. When you get up, squeeze your glutes together and tighten your hamstrings. Count to 3. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, and bring it back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Okay? Again, that's 3 second hold, 10 to 15 reps, 3 sets of that exercise. So that was version 2. The first one was version 1. So we're going to move on to a completely different exercise using this resistance band. So this is going to work your chest, your back, and your arms. You can stay in this same position right here. You don't need to go anywhere else. Now, this red one is not necessarily the easiest one, but they come in different levels. Yellow, red, green, blue, purple, black. You'll want to get whichever one that you feel comfortable with, like there's actually some resistance, but that it doesn't give you any pain when you're moving it. So you want your hands and arms overhead, directly above your shoulders. You don't want them past your face. You don't want them towards your belly. You want them directly above your shoulders. Now, the wider you hold this band, the easier the exercise will be because the less resistance you will be using. The tighter you hold this band, the more resistance you'll be using, so the more difficult the exercise will be. So you can create different levels of this exercise on your own just using one band. You don't have to have multiple colors. So I'm going to start with my hands and arms shoulder distance apart. And I have relatively broad shoulders since I'm a pole dancer. You know, pole shoulders, right, ladies? So our hands are right above our shoulders. Remember to push your shoulder blades down and back, and you're not so much as pushing as creating proper posture. So the same kind of posture you would be standing up straight, you want to keep that posture when you're laying down on the floor. So you're grabbing your band, you're going to move your hands apart from each other at the same pace until they get to the floor. Hold 2-3 seconds and come back up. Again, you'll do 10 to 15 reps, 3 sets of that exercise. Now, if you can't get all the way to the floor, widen your grip on this band to make it slightly easier, since there'll be slightly less resistance. If getting to the floor is super easy for you, then tighten your grip so that you have more resistance. And make sure you're not going to overstretch the band either, because every band has a finite amount of resistance to it. So if it starts to feel really tight and really taut and like there's no more movement really left in it, don't push it, because that's when people will have issues with the quality of their bands degrading to the point of possibly snapping. Safety first. So I'll demo the exercise one more time. Hands above our shoulders. Hands shoulder width apart, for me personally, to start. Now, tuck your belly button to spine. You thought we were done with that core work, didn't you? Why, hello, princess. So, tuck your belly button to spine, tighten up your core, bring your hands apart at the same pace, lower them until you touch the floor. Bring them back together slowly. Good. Again. Hold. Back together slowly. Good. So, that's exercise number 2. Our next exercise and our final exercise, we're going to roll on our bellies. So, from here, you can have your head facing either direction. It doesn't matter. You just don't want your chin to the ground here, because that's going to compress your cervical vertebrae. So, your feet are going to be behind you. Ignore the ladies over there. They like to hiss at each other. So I like to point my toes, because I also use this as a leg extension exercise. And my hands are going to outstretch in front of me like this. We're going to work on our coordination and our back muscles and our booty muscles at the same time. So the opposite leg, opposite arm will lift. So I'm going to start with my left arm, which means I'm going to start with my left leg. I'm going to start with my left arm, which means I'm going to start with my right leg. So you're going to lift left arm and right leg, hold, pause at the top, down, and then switch. So now right arm goes up along with the left leg. Pause and switch. Left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg. You're going to want to do that for 10 to 15 reps on each side. Don't forget the pause when you're in midair. And it's not like a 2 to 3 second hold like when we were doing our bridges. It's literally more like just a pause, just to make sure that you're hanging out in the air. So this is going to help work your booty muscles. As long as you're pointing your toe and keeping your legs straight, it will also help strengthen those leg extensions. It will also help work your shoulders. At the end of this, I like to push back and stretch in a nice child's pose. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoy these exercises. If they are beneficial for you, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Leave them in the comments below. But before you leave, make sure you like this video, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And if you have any questions, you know what to do. Love you, babes.